Alrighty, so in just a couple of days on Global, we are going to be getting the Ragnarok Festival character, Hel, or Hella. I'm not exactly sure what the translations for Global are going to say yet, but it seems like the JP translations say Hel, Hel. But I don't know, Hella sounds better to me, but obviously we'll just get what we get. Obviously, Jormungandr is how it's normally said, but we got Jormungand without the R, so I don't know. But either way, if you're new to the channel or anything, feel free to subscribe. But we're going to be going over today what I'm doing and what you maybe should be doing to sort of prepare for the new patch, of course, because obviously the new Hela character is pretty cool. If you have been keeping up with JP gameplay and stuff like that, you've probably seen some gameplay of her, and she definitely makes the Ragnarok team crazy better. And it's kind of insane because you don't even necessarily have to use her skills. You just kind of need her on the field, which is a really big point in what we're going to talk about first, which is how should you gear the character. Originally, I was thinking that I would give her an attack crit damage set because, you know, she's a character that you can go second with pretty comfortably because if they attack into you, they put these like pain stacks on, which are kind of like corrosion in a way where, like, you know, depending on how many stacks they have on them, it's going to get rid of 10% of their remaining HP, which is pretty big because if they do a lot of AoEs and stuff, they're going to, you know, kill their own health bar basically. Because I was tempted to go second and just get as much damage out as possible with her, I was like, okay, attack crit damage could be the best play here. But after watching a couple of the JP YouTubers and sort of like, you know, seeing their thoughts on the whole thing, it seems like HP defense actually might be better because you kind of just want her to at least be alive on the field because just her being there is going to change the way that the enemy has to play. She reminds me a little bit of like Assault Mode Melee back in the day because you couldn't really just like straight up attack into him or else he was going to gain too many stacks and stuff like that, whereas if you attack into her, you gain debuffs, which is, you know, a big problem. So there's a couple of weird things about her, like gameplay, like quirk-wise, I guess, that makes her, you know, just kind of want to be on the field, and even though you kind of do want to go second, I think an HP defense set actually might be best because if you don't know, each stack of her passive, you know, pain stacks that she puts onto the enemy when she attacks or if they attack and put them on themselves actually gives her 3% all stats up to 24%. So if all of the enemies have tons of these stacks on, you're going to be getting a ton of extra stats. And for each stack on the enemy, I think up to 5. I think one character can have 5 of them on. I'll have to obviously test the character out a little bit more once she comes out. But you know, you gain, I think it's 12% attack-related stats whenever you attack with your single target card. Like that's the effect that the single target has, which is just gonna, like, it doesn't matter if you have HP defense on at that point. That card is gonna do so much damage, it doesn't even really matter. Plus, the AoE skill is just a debuff skill. It lowers, I think it's crit chance and crit damage, so you're not really too worried about if that one gets evaded or anything like that. Plus, even if you attack into evasion food with it, you can kind of bait with it because it applies the debuffs first, so you can use her skill. Even if it gets evaded, they're not going to lower their crit chance or crit damage, which isn't that big of a deal in the first place, but it's going to apply her pain stacks, which is really great, and then you can sort of just follow up with the rest of your team, and then they can apply them to themselves if they attack and stuff. It's just, she's a really crazy character. So I do personally think that she's a little bit more supporty, just because you want her to be there. Tyr ends up taking care of a lot of the like extra damage and stuff like that for like crowd controlling on the team and everything. But I mean, that's not saying that she can't deal good damage. You can definitely rely on her like turn 2, turn 3 to like do really big single target damage and stuff like that to the enemy to like wipe out a quick, you know, threat or something like that. You know, if they have enough stacks on, you basically can just obliterate anybody you want. Maybe not Demon King if he still has his damage cap up, but, you know, the team's pretty tanky. You know, you got Nanashi, you've got a ton of stats and stuff like that, so I do personally think that my mind has been changed. I think I'm going to go with an HP defense set for mine, just so that way she's a little bit tankier, she can stay alive, you know, or have that much better chance, I guess, to stay alive, and so, yeah, it might hurt the CC a little bit. I might end up going first more often than I might maybe want to, but it's not really too big of a deal. If you do go first with this team, it's not like you're trying to pop stats or anything like Demon King, so it's not the end of the world, but yeah, yeah, I think HP defense should work flawlessly, I think. So either way, if you don't have some of your Ragnarok characters or anything invested into, obviously I think Tyr and Freyr seems to be one of the better teams that people are using at the moment, so you might want to level up some of those characters if you have them. A lot of these characters are on the banner. If not, I think maybe every single one of these characters is on the banner, because there's 26 units in the banner, which is quite crazy. Not really a big fan of it being that clogged up, but you know, this is going to be a decent chance for you guys to pull some of these characters if you've skipped them in the past. So if you do end up pulling any of these characters, or you already have them, make sure that you're sort of like powering, you know, the ones that you want to use up with her before she comes out, so that way you can just hop straight in. But other than that, she does work with unknown characters as well. So any of the unknown characters that you want to run with her, feel free to upgrade those also. So that is pretty much it for, you know, prepping for her. The only other thing that you might need to do is make dark grimoires or dark books, because she is a dark character. If you don't know how to do that, just come over to King. You can actually do it in-game whenever you go to her upgrade, like limit break section. You'll see this little grimoire exchange button in the bottom left. These are the amount that you need to get her to level 60. So you need 3 of the... or you need 10 of the 3-star books, 2 of the 4-star books, and 1 of the 5-star books. And then for the for the level 60 to 100 grind, you will need these materials, which is 18 SSR pendants, 2 UR pendants, 8 of the 6-star grimoires, and then demon mats to sort of take care of all of those levels. So make sure that you sort of already have those things ready to go. Obviously, I could go ahead and exchange some of these. I might end up doing that before the update actually drops, but I won't worry about doing that in the middle of a video. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Hell. The only other thing that's really interesting that's coming out is the fact that we are getting 2 new Holy Relics, and if you don't know, the Holy Relics are for Red Danafor Liz, or like the red-haired Danafor Liz. All 3 of them can use the relic. Unfortunately, it is a PvE only relic, so I think the blue Liz here is going to get shafted a little bit, because I guess you can use her in PvE, but I don't really think that there's a good reason to. She's probably the weakest link out of all of them, but her Holy Relic is going to, I'll put it up on the screen, but it should end up making it to where you gain a 50% attack increase buff for 3 turns, which is going to be really nice. I've already seen a video on JP Twitter of somebody doing the SA Coin Dungeon and one-shotting with Awakened Roxy the first phase, so that way you can easily reset if you don't pull a box, and then they literally 2-shotted the boss in the second phase, which is like so much quicker. I think the video is like 40 seconds long for one entire run of that, which is pretty crazy considering you get 30 minutes to do it. You have, I think it's 15 different runs that you can do. I can't remember. It's either 15 or like 12 or something. But yeah, that's going to make that a lot faster, and Belmoth should be even easier. You should be able to clear Belmoth phases and much less cards now, so it could be a nice relic to get. She does take deer mats to actually make, so do be aware. I think the image that I have right here actually shows you what mats you need. So you're going to need 80 of the light cubes. If you need those, which is what I needed the most, I never have light cubes. I do have the rest of the mats, but if you need those, obviously you just need to farm the deer. I did just upload a video on the best deer team, you know, currently in the game, at least for like 2023. Obviously it could be out of date sometime in the near future, but if you want to use a good team that's fast farming and you have a lot of the newer, you know, characters and stuff like that, maybe you're, you know, caught up with some of your relics and everything, this team was super fast. It's like a Ragnarok team with Jormungand on it, which I guess she's Ragnarok too, but yeah, honestly, super, super strong. It has Nanashi for even extra, you know, stats and everything, so go check that video out. I'll leave a link to it somewhere on the video, I'm sure. But other than that, we actually have Crazy Roxy getting a relic, which is also a pretty interesting one. Hers is also pretty cool, I would say. I'm pretty interested in this relic. Obviously, there's not too much you can do to sort of prep for this one, because it does use Nidhogg relics, or relic materials, and because of that, obviously, there's no way to farm Nidhogg at the moment, so you either already have the materials ready for it, or, you know, I am posting this a couple days early, so if you haven't done Nidhogg for the week, and you can, do Nidhogg this week, and then you should be able to do it on Monday for reset before the update comes out on Tuesday, as long as it doesn't launch a day early. But either way, I mean, if you did 2 weeks worth of Nidhogg, I mean, you might not get the red crystals for it, but you'll definitely have the sources here. So yeah, the rest of this stuff just kind of comes from grinding or exchanging with the world tree and stuff. So feel free to grab those. Obviously, the relic itself is pretty cool. little thing down there is in the way, but for each human ally participating in battle, your basic stats will increase by 3%, and your critical damage will increase by 30%. So that is a pretty big increase. I think it'll kind of move her back into like DPS territory, whereas I kind of play her as a support a little bit more lately. I think I think by the time this video comes out, I'll probably already have my Roxy video out. If not, it'll be coming out soon after this video. I'm not 100% sure when I'm uploading this yet, but yeah, I did mess around with Roxy a little bit before the update drops, but currently, without the Relic, I think she's just kind of a support that you throw on the team because of the passive, but hopefully this Relic will change that and she'll actually be able to do some really good damage. But yeah, that is pretty much the biggest parts of the update. Obviously, there's like a new Ragnarok chapter and stuff like that that you can get some free materials out of, but overall, there's nothing else that you really need to prep for, I don't think. So that is basically it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already. If there's any questions you have on the new character or anything, feel free to, drop them down below. Obviously, I don't have her yet, but I have been watching a lot of gameplay, so I might be able to answer some of the stuff. But yeah, we will definitely be doing live summons whenever the character drops on Global, and yeah, we'll definitely be testing her out as soon as we get her and we have her powered up. So I will see you guys then. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Subscribe. I'll see you later.